Now, when you say that, emotional turmoils and then it boils down to suicides, etc., let me get you a little back. Let me take you a little back. Let us understand what were the most difficult emotional moments that you faced since early days of your life till now, and how did you really overcome them? If you would like to speak about them so that the audience understands that here we are leading by example.
Okay. After I got admission into medical college, within first 10 days, I realized probably that I was not made for medical science. I was good in biology, bro.
Oh,
But the student who's good in biology doesn't necessarily mean that he should become a doctor only. You're getting my point?
all right. Just the way that if you are good in maths or it doesn't mean that you're fit for being an engineer.
Yeah, that your heart sinks when you realize that you already a long way to, and you know that medical education goes long, in decades it goes.
True.
So that was first thing, but then you take on this thing, there are friends around you, you started attending classes and everything. So you go through it. So that was the first stage when I realized that this is something which I'm not naturally good at. Universe has not sent me for this, but then I have to go through the grueling education of medical science. And then the usual setbacks which happen in every heartbreaks, for example, and other things, being rejected, being thrown out of someone's life like that. So all these things. But again, after I came into profession and I was successful in profession, the biggest struggle was when I realized, when the midlife crisis came into my life, that this is not something which I have come into this world for. The universe has sent me for something else. The word, when I say the word God, please do not relate it with any religion. I mean the universe. I use the word God in my book because that is the word which generally people relate to it. It has nothing to do with any religion. So God proposes, and that is why the usual statement is man proposes, God disposes. I say it backwards. God proposes something different for me. God proposes, and I've been given the strength, but I am not utilizing. I've been given the strength of public speaking, but I am not utilizing it. Right? I've been given the strength of motivating youth, but I am not utilizing it. I've been given the strength of writing beautiful prose, but I am not utilizing it. It's like a bird trapped inside the leaves around, which is not able to bloom as a flower. It is like a caterpillar which is trapped inside the cocoon, which is not able to become a butterfly. Apart from the professional struggles which everyone faces, this was the most difficult phase of my life, although externally it would not appear so to others. It is like an stomach ache inside, which only you can feel, but others cannot see. If there's a big ulcer here, others can see and understand your pain, but this is an internal pain which others can't see, but I can understand. And here the most painful part was the public scrutiny and the public criticism and the public judgments which I had to go through when I decided that I am going to pivot into other career. That was the most painful part. See, no matter how much you say, दूसरा का ओपिनियन मायने नहीं रखता, or to hell with what others say, to hell with what my chacha is saying, or even my parents are saying.
The societal pressure,
no matter how much you say, it does affect you. It does affect you, at least in the initial state. Till you made it big in the, now it doesn't matter, but that time it mattered. There was self-doubt. मैं ठीक कर रहा हूँ कि नहीं कर रहा हूँ, because मैं लीक से हट करके कहीं पर जा रहा हूँ. That was the biggest struggle of my life. And that is where this thing about Guinness came into my life. I'm sure you have another question planned for Guinness, so we'll go into that time. But the most painful part was to prove to the world that my life's calling is something different, and to prove myself good there, and to be able to do something good for the world in that field was the most painful part of my life. And then, of course, then now how to do it? Now I have to monetize it also. I have to, a series of struggles related to that, because I have to monetize it also. I have to earn good money out of it also, because passion doesn't feed your tummy. So to monetize it also. So what I would say is that, again, coming back to the original question, that what was the most painful part? The most painful part was, coming out of that cocoon, coming out of that comfort zone, coming out of that well, and leaping outside and seeing the outside world, and proving to the earlier world, who were so judgmental, that my decision was right, and that every person should follow the passion, and that every person should be able to follow the calling of his or her life through my own example. Earlier, I used to give example of different people. I would give example of, big wigs. But the question would be, Arey, tune kya kiya? What have you done, Ajay? To finding my own example to be able to teach people, and to be able to do things so that I can give my own example, and not just Sachin Tendulkar and Lata Mangeshkar. Was the biggest, the painful, and I'll not call it painful, was the most challenging part of my life.
Walking the talk.
Walking it. Yes.
Perfect.